Hello there you, and welcome to another absolute slaughter that we have here for you today. Now, when the Imperial Guard invaded the Orc-controlled planet of Hallion 4, they were not quite prepared for the sheer amount of dakka that the Orcs had in their possession. As such, their landing parties were quickly scattered and defeated by the Orcs, who could not quite believe that a Happy Meal had been delivered right to their door. With millions of Imperial Guard dead, the retreat was sounded, much to the dismay of the Death Corps of Krieg, who, instead of retreating, offered to hold the ground against the now pursuing Orc hordes. To this end, the men and women of the Krieg know that they must buy as much time as possible for the evac to take place and hold this hill for as long as possible against the oncoming onslaught. To that end, at their disposal they have 40,000 Death Corps of Krieg, 60 Lehman Russ battle tanks, and 100 autocannons. In contrast, the Orcs have 5 million sluggers, 50,000 knobs, and 30,000 shooters. How long will Imperial forces last? Let's find out. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Ready to stomp some UEBS. And we Orcs, we love stomping the ones in the funny little masks. They's making some good fighting. And oh my god, look at that. There's going to be a lot of fighting today. 5 million of the boys are ready to take on the men and women of the Krieg, who have got this awesome little defensive setup over here. Look at this, absolutely fantastic. They've decided to take control of this hill here, and what they're trying to do is funnel some of the Orcs down into the center, where you can see they're just gonna get absolutely slaughtered. Now all of them here are men and women of the Krieg. They are going to be laying down monumental amounts of firepower, trying to hold back these Orc forces. You can see that they've actually got quite a lot of firepower here, ready and overlapping each other to take on. Look at that! Oh my, it's an insane amount of Orcs. Well, it is insane, but it's not really, is it? This is just a small portion of an Orc WAAGH. And here we go, as the battle kicks off. The Krieg here laying down the firepower right into the Orc front line, who are already taking almost 1,000 losses in the first opening volleys. You can see that the Krieg don't mess around when it comes to this sort of stuff. Now, can they hold out for about 20 minutes? I reckon about 20 minutes should be enough for them, for the rest of the Imperial Guard to be able to evac out of the area. And this funnel at the moment is working wonders. Oh my, the Orcs taking monumental losses. 11,000 already have been put down. But look at that as it stretches off into the distance and over the hills. That is a lot of Orcs that the Krieg have got to deal with here. So, will the Krieg actually be able to take out the Orcs? That is a question. The Orcs here are largely melee-based, with a few knobs and shooters scattered in between. The sluggers obviously being the fastest amongst them and able to get to the front line as they now will start to engage the Krieg here in this little valley here on the side of the hill. Let's go have a look at it from the Krieg perspective. Oh my, look at that. Knowing that that is the front line and then looking at that behind it, knowing what you've got to go through to actually get there. The Krieg so far have lost one single troop to... Oh my god! The Orcs are coming up to 60,000 losses, just surpassed it now as they start trying to push around the flanks, but you can see that the overlapping fields of fire here are really helping out. The Krieg on the back line here, ensuring that their brethren are not left alone. Look at that! Oh my god! There's a lot of auto rifles here just blasting out. Let's go have a look onto the other side here, where the Orcs actually do have slightly more cover on their approach, especially coming up this side here. However, when they get to the top, it's really not helping them too much at the moment. You can see that the front line is evaporating as it gets close. Oh my god! I absolutely love this game. Look at all these Orcs here, charging over top of the dead brethren and just meeting the exact same fate here. Getting funneled into this, again, a narrow little valley here. The Imperial Guard really have chosen an excellent location. We can see, though, a couple of knobs there got to the front line, and a few of the Krieg were turned into shish kebabs. Oh my god, that Orc there literally just uppercutted Imperial Guardsman with a power claw. Oh, can you imagine getting uppercutted with a power claw? Your head would be sent into upper orbit here. Look at these orcs here, though. Actually, this is really smart. Look what they're doing. So you can see over here, we've got this box formation, which is laying down death to the orcs on the front line. But look what these orcs over here are doing. They've found this little narrow pathway here, which is actually under the cover of terrain, so the Imperial Guard here can't actually shoot at them, which allows them to get right up to the secondary defense line here, the one where our Lehman Russies are just laying down firepower. Not many orcs are pushing this area at the moment, but that could be really bad. That's going to be distracting the Krieg over here, so they can't give as much covering fire. However, the other effect means that there's not as many orcs are pushing that side of the line. Go have a look over here now. 700 losses, coming on 800 losses now to the Imperial Guard forces. This front line here has been holding out really well. The death funnel has been working wonders. Oh, so many sluggers, look at this. You can see them trying to get there, and the amount of firepower just overwhelms them, devastates the front line here. Go on, Mr. Knob, you can do it. There you go, he's getting there. He's got, oh no, he bolted just before he got to the front line. However, a couple of his fellows are getting there, and bit by bit, they are putting dents in the armor of the Imperial Guard forces, especially over here. This is turning into an absolute slaughter over this side. Look at the orcs just pouring over here now. Let's hit the slow-mo a second. Look at that. That is insanity here. The orcs pouring over all the dead, just trying to get to the front line. The happy little squeaks coming from the Imperial Guard Krieg here as they realise that they get to pull out the shovel. Oh, there's just monumental death on our front line. I absolutely love this. Let's go have a look over here where the orcs are taking it in the side. Look at that! Oh, absolutely brilliant. Let's speed it back up again. Let's see how we get on here. So far, 420,000 kills to the Krieg, who only started off with 50. That is a really, really good thing so far. They've been holding out now for roughly, well, let's say about 6 minutes, something like that. So they've still got a little while to go here, yeah, and the orcs are just relentlessly pushing forward. They can smell blood and blah in the water here. I don't know what water that is because we're in the middle of the desert, but they've still got quite a lot to go through here. Let's have a look around. So it doesn't look like the frontliners actually capitulated over this side yet. No, they're still holding out. They're still shooting a lot of orcs over here. The death rate is insane, actually. Almost 2,000 a second, and little Timmy, I think it is time already. That was quite quick. It is. Oh my god, look how deep this is. Little Timmy, get out that rubber dinghy. Fun for the entire family is to be had here today, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the monumental amount of death just going on here. Let's hit that slow-mo again. It's got to be done. Oh my god, it's worse than Stalingrad down here. And look at the background up there. Just the absolute frenzy that's going on. Oh, this is why I love the orcs. They're just all about the absolute insanity of warfare. And they are living up to it today. And look in the background still. Look how many of them are left. We've killed 500,000. And look at the numbers in the background, just stretching off into the distance. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with our front line holding over here. Well, to be honest, it's kind of expected with the amount of overlapping firepower that's in this area. This is a crucial part over here, though. Oh, no. Looks like the orcs have found a way around again. Yeah, this is going to be distracting now. The rear line, the fire support Overwatch now, is distracted by an orc attack of their own. Will our box formation be able to hold out without that fire support? You can already tell that without its lackluster fire support from the rear line, that the Imperial Guard here are starting to take losses, a lot of them. 5,500 Kriegsmen have already perished, but they have made a brilliant accountability for themselves so far. 700,000 kills. Are they going to be able to get up to 1 million, though? That is a good question here. Let's see, how are we getting on this sneaky little flank here? Clearly, these orcs were all dressed in purple to get up to this far. They are actually managing to push this now. Now that they've made a defilade as well, right in front of the Imperial Guard, the Imperial Guard no longer able to give fire support from this direction, only down to this side now. and they are really getting swarmed actually over there. But yeah, I don't know, is this a brilliant plan by the orcs here? They have been able to really push up this area now. Like I said, the Imperial Guard can no longer fire down onto them from that angle. Welcome to halfway through the video. You're clearly enjoying it, so why not hit the like button and consider subscribing. Now, let's get back to the video. Our front line is collapsing little by little though. It's got to be said, the orcs with every death are getting a little inch closer. 825,000 kills now, getting back over to our far flank here. Yeah, look at that. Without the fire superiority of the rear line, the orcs have started to capitulate. The poor Kriegsmen here, who've put up a valiant defense, but look how quick they're now starting to falter. And pretty soon, all these guys in the back now are going to have to start to really lay down a lot of fire. Otherwise, these orcs are just going to go crashing right into the side of them tanks. They really need a lot of help over here. They're holding out for now on their side. They are taking a few losses. I reckon they can hold this. There's not that many orcs realistically pushing out this flank. Especially if some of them, look, yeah, there we go. They're going towards the center now. Down towards the tanks, as I predicted. Yeah, right in there, right into that back line, and that's absolute devastation. The front line now just evaporating. You can see that when one regiment falls, they all start to falter. It is very much a house of cards defense here today, even with the overlapping firepower. Though I must say, they're still outnumbered immensely here, and the Imperial Guard have put up a massive amount of firepower to front the enemy assault here. And they've really done it, coming up to 1 million kills, actually. Let's see, how's our box formation doing over here? Really well. This side has been doing massively better than our other sides. Really holding out, even with the orcs starting to push around the flanks here. They've really been doing excellent work. The Emperor's proud, boys. You keep this up. The orcs are really struggling to push this. There's so much firepower in this area. We can see that there's a couple of shooters in the background over here. You can see the puffs of smoke. These are the shooters coming in. So that is going to be taking effect on the Krieg line. Maybe even up here, actually taking a couple of the Kriegsmen out. But our lines are still holding for now. We're coming up close to our evac. They need to hold out a few more minutes here. Come on, guys, you can do this. Let's have a look. How are we doing on this flank here? Because I think if this flank falls over here, it is going to be deadly. Because that just opens up the entire side now. This is the only Krieg force over here holding their side. And that will also give the orcs some height advantage as well, especially if they start taking this side over here. The front line down here can hold as long as the other flanks hold. Because there's definitely enough firepower here on our front line now as the orcs are starting to find out bit by bit. Oh god, look at our poor Lehman Russies here. Dead in the blood, left in the sand and forgotten. Back on this side. Oh my god, look at this body pile here now. That is really big. The orcs have really been pushing hard into this area, realizing that the plan of building bodies was a huge success. I don't know why I said. Oh my god. More body piles, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely what we're after here. I can't believe this, though. The amount of kills that the Imperial Guard have actually got is quite impressive, but I do think the box formation over here is starting to collapse. The Blood Lake has actually started to disappear under the amount of bodies. They've actually killed so many now that the Blood Lake can no longer function. I mean, it is still there to some degree, but it wasn't as big as it was earlier. It's definitely been filled in a little bit. Yeah, the collapse is happening now on this line. Definitely with no more fire support coming from this side. That was the crucial point here. Look at this now. There's no fire support whatsoever coming out of this Imperial Guard line. They're all concentrated on the front. This flank is actually still holding somewhat. I don't know how, but it is actually holding somewhat. Perhaps it's the actual terrain itself now, sort of narrowing the attack angles that the orcs can actually hit the Imperial Guard at. Who knows, but they are still taking fire from the side here, but all is starting to crumble bit by bit. Only 27,000 guardsmen remain. Most of them were over this side here, and with the fall of our box formation, I don't know how much longer our Imperial Guard are actually going to be able to do this.
Let's give them 5 minutes. If they can hold out for 5 minutes from this point, I will declare it an Imperial Guard victory. It's a tall order for them to be able to do, but I hope that they can. Because at the moment, the Orks are coming up to 1.5 million losses. They're not quite there yet, but they're certainly making their way for it. Oh my god, I love this game. Being able to see Warhammer in this, on this scale, is fantastic. It'd be even better if we could have like buildables and stuff like that, so we could put trenches down and have actual cover systems, but I can understand then that we'd have to reduce the amount of units in it. And look at that horde in the background still. It's like we've barely put a dent in them. We've killed 1.5 million of them. There's still 3.5 million remaining. The flank is starting to fall over this side. It's very slow though, I'll say that. They are managing to take out a hell of a lot of orcs, getting a lot of bang for buck over this side. But I do think them shooters on the orc side are really starting to overwhelm the Imperial Guard defenders. We've still actually got some tanks left alive as well, I think, over here. Are these alive now, or have they all been shot up? Oh no, a couple of them are still left alive. They're trying to put in some fire support into this flank over here. And I don't blame them. There's a large gathering of shooters over here, though, as well. This is really, really tense now. Will the Imperial Guard be able to hold out? They've only got a few more minutes. Come on, guys, you can do this. The men of Krieg, happy shovel noises as they squelch orc face. I can't believe this front line as well actually held. Well, it wasn't the front line, but it is our new front line. It's held so well. I'm wondering if it's thanks to these autocannons over here. The autocannons have done a lot of work to help everyone out. And they really do tear open orcs, them autocannons do. Each bullet going through like 3 or 4 orcs at a time. The front line is melting over here, actually. Though the orcs, bit by bit, are chewing their way through Imperial forces. The Imperial Guard are still taking losses here. Definitely over here now, look at that. The entire collapse here of the far left flank. The tanks now feeling the pressure as the orcs come storming over. Come on, there's 15,000 Imperial Guard left. You guys can do it. They've got a box formation still here. So that is actually really good, because box formation is one of the strongest formations in this game. But overlapping firepower, it just makes it really difficult for the enemy to actually push from any angle. I mean, actually, the orcs have really been struggling to push this angle, speaking of it. I just can't get over how many are still left in the background over here. It really does feel like, despite the fact now that we are approaching 2 million kills. What the? A tank. Oh, look at this. Okay, it looks like a couple of orc knobs have just thrown a tank through the air. Did they just, like, all surround it with their massive claws? Yeah, look, they're just flinging tanks about. Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. I would imagine, though, that, you know, maybe if 3 or 4 of the knobs did get around a Lehman Russ tank, that they would probably actually be able to lift it. Orcs are damn strong, and then you add in a pneumatic claw into that, so it gives them extra leverage and power. They might possibly be able to do that. I don't know if they'd be able to fling it the 200 foot into the air that tank just went, but oh my god. Okay, so we are literally witnessing the collapse here now, ladies and gentlemen. However, the Imperial Guard only need to hold out here now for about 2 minutes, and I think with this box formation still being here, it's very possible that they're going to be able to do that. The orcs are going to take a lot of losses here trying to push this. And I mean a lot. Look at them. They are literally melting against the front line here. God. The Imperial Guard firepower is really underestimated, but it's only good when it's in massive amounts of numbers, which I suppose is why each Imperial Guard regiment is like, you know, 20 million men or something daft like that. I don't think it's 20 million. It's probably more like 1 million men to, you know, 10 million men, I would imagine, in active service for each regiment. But it's still, that amount of blast fire amassed has got to have a damn good effective effect. And then you add in all the artillery, the air support, and anything else that the Imperial Guard can pull out of the sleeve. War in the 40k universe is absolutely insane when you really think about it. Like, impossibly insane. Oh my god. So what I think we're quickly going to do is we're going to time-lapse this now, because the Imperial Guard have literally just hit the 5-minute mark here. So, it is technically an Imperial Guard victory, but I want to see what happens. I want to see what the final kill counter here is. So, we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you might notice something a little bit strange here. It looks like the Orc forces are actually running out of troops. Yeah, that's because they've glitched out. Orcs, yeah, the AI broke. Unfortunately, look at this. A lot of the Orcs now have decided to stand still and run on the spot with broken necks. So, yeah, I don't know why. Every now and then this happens, unfortunately. It's a side effect of the mods. But, you know, it is what it is. The entire Orc force has now completely broken and decided to go on vacation when it comes to the terms of brain power here. So, yeah, no more Orcs are going to be assaulting this area. You can see that they're all trying and they just keep getting stuck. So, turn up for the books here is that, on a technical note, the Imperial Guard completely, absolutely and utterly won this just because the AI broke for the Orcs. And I think then that means that we are going to have to end this one here. And now, with most of the Imperial Guard forces being successfully evicted from the planet, there's only one thing for us left to do here today. I do hope you had a blast. I know I did. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. A massive shout out to all our channel members who help to keep this channel going. And if you're not a channel member, why the heck not? Click the join button below. And as a reward for being a channel member, your bonus content is now available, so go ahead and check that out. And if you're looking for something that's not necessarily Warhammer related, go ahead and check out Chaotic Pinky Plus. With all that being said, as always, until next time, peace!